Let's jump right into it. Okay, this patch notes V10.1.0. Okay, I don't even know. What is this update even called? This update introduces home tours. Does it? I guess it doesn't have an update because it's not like a content update. This is the big system. We saw this on ESO Live. They revealed this last week. Home tours, a new tool to help you find and share housing creations. Basically, you can use a system thing to port to places and see other people's houses and rank them. And this is just what we were looking for. It came just in time. This is huge. They've also made some updates to Infinite Archive. Yeah, there's a couple new rooms in there, plus there's new sets. There's also new collectibles, achievements, titles. Enjoy additional quality of life changes, including the game now remembering your last selected guild store or bank. Okay. Aside from that, we got some bug fixes. We got improvements to the entire game. Okay. BTS is up. It's online. For anyone that's new, we will be covering combat changes today. All right, we're going to go look at combat changes. I will let you guys read all of the home tours, homes, furnishings, things of this nature on your own. We're going to jump right to new class item sets. Okay? Let's do it. Here we are. 7 new item sets. Okay? How's this? Does this work better too? Good. So, first up, we got the Etheric Lance, a Templar set. Let's run through these. We're going to power through these. All right? Now, these are Infinite Archive sets, which means they're going to come in every weight class if they're like the others. And since they're not specified, it would appear that's the case. It means you can get them in... Oh, yeah, they say it up here. These sets come in all weights, light, medium, heavy. It's a lot of farming to get it and all the things, but there you have it. Okay? So, this is a Templar only set. Weapon spell, crit, weapon spell. Dealing damage with burning light twice within 30 seconds creates a 5-meter area for 5 seconds. This can happen every 6. Okay. While in the area, dealing damage with spear ability launches a spear at your target, dealing magic damage and applying Sundered. Increasing your weapon and spell for 300 by 6 seconds. Damage scales off the higher of your weapon and spell. So, uptime 6 seconds, cooldown 6 seconds. So this is a full uptime set. This is a really nice amount of weapon spell damage, considering the 2 and 4 piece. A crit chance is welcomed. The requirements aren't very tough here. Burning light twice. Okay. And that's also not considering the fact that it also sunders and deals magic damage. They don't say here, but from what I recall on the they peaked this set on the live stream, and it was actually quite a high tooltip. This will probably be a pretty good set, in all honesty. A lot of damage, a lot of pressure. It was actually one of the better tooltips, considering it's very low cooldown, 6 seconds. So, probably a good one to look at. Farming this place can be kind of a pain. Alright, Beacon of Oblivion, Sorcerer Daedric. So we have armor, weapon and spell damage, max health. Quite a variety, not bad for a PvP bounce setup. But then we get to, while you have a pet active, gain health and armor. While you don't have a pet active, increase your damage on the monsters, and healing done by 15%. Well, that's a really stupid 5-piece bonus for if you have a pet active. It's really light stats. If you don't have a pet active, it's only PvE, except the healing done. So, like, this could be good for a healer sword, absolutely irrelevant otherwise. There you go. Okay, garbage. No. All right, let's keep it moving. Dragon Knight, Ardent Flame. We got penetration, weapon spell damage. Okay, those are good. Your light attacks deal flame damage every 2 seconds over 6 seconds. Your fully charged heavy attacks consume up to 3 of your dot effects to deal flame damage in a 6-meter radius of the target, dealing up to 200% more damage for execute range. Damage scales off of the higher of your weapon or spell damage is increased by 20% for each dot effect. Yep, we'd really have to see the numbers on this one for the PTS type thing. Consuming 3 of your dots, that's asking a lot. You also have to do, they're saying a fully charged heavy attack, who knows? That'd be worth testing. But, yeah, unless this is like a finisher, I don't know. I'm going to err on the side that the numbers aren't good enough, and it probably sucks. But maybe. AoE execute? Could be. But, like, to enemies. So, yeah, it can hit the area. 6-meter radius of the target. I don't know if it's... I don't think the damage is going to scale off that one enemy. So, like, if you were executing a low-health target, it usually scales to the other enemies. So if they're at full health, it's not going to do much to them type thing. But, yeah, I don't... Listen, it could work, right? Like, you're dotting someone, you're pressuring and beating the hell out of them. You hit them with an ult. And, but that's the thing. Like, if someone's low, how can I full heavy attack somebody that's in execute range? Right? They're 50%. They're getting down to 30. Hold up. Here comes the big swing. I don't know. This probably doesn't work the way you'd want it to, maybe. I don't know. How might the math work on Bloodthirsty? It'd probably work pretty well. I just don't know who you're fully heavy attacking in execute range that you're not already just executing. You know? I don't know. Let's say maybe, but probably not. Probably not the most useful one. Okay? Next up, Umbral Edge, Nightblade, Shadow. We got max health, armor, max stam. When you cast a Shadow ability, you gain Umbral Repose for 3 seconds, up to every 6 seconds. It causes you to dodge the next attack made against you and automatically cursing the target, applying Major Vuln for 5 seconds. Yeah, we saw this on the ESO live stream too. This one looked like a really good set. Okay, Major Vuln, class that really doesn't need Major Vuln is getting Major Vuln. Okay, add some burst on your burst. The reality of this set, though, this is like a great brawler set. Like, considering it has armor, health, stamina, whatever. But the health and armor is nice here. The reality is, how many Nightblade brawlers are there? Not many. Over 9 out of 10 Nightblades that you PvP against are ganking. It doesn't mean they're completely glass cannon, but 100% of their gameplay comes from they're hitting you, and they're not interested in staying in the fight beyond that. So, and frankly, Cyrodiil's not very inviting for this type of gameplay either. That's a Cyrodiil problem, that's a bigger issue, but it could be great, absolutely great in something like a good BG build. It's definitely an effective set on a class that doesn't deserve it. Alright. ZeniMax continues to give Nightblades things that no Nightblade's asking for. Thanks, ZeniMax. It's almost like people that want things play a Nightblade over at ZeniMax. And then they're like, DKs, you guys want an AoE execute off your fully charged heavy attacks when something's really low? Yes, that's what I've been dreaming of. Also, I'm dreaming of more pet sets for my Sorcerer, right? Like, give me a Major Vuln with an auto dodge on my Sorc. See what happens out there, alright? Plex, thank you for the Prime. 19 months, welcome back. To the resub, brother. So, yeah, ultimately, I don't think you're going to see a lot of impact in Cyrodiil gameplay PvP-wise because of that. Now, again, if you're like 1v1 dueling or in small scale type stuff like Battlegrounds can have, sure. But the other thing is, like, again, I will reiterate, most Nightblade players in ESO, and a lot of people are playing Nightblade. It's potentially potentially the highest, maybe behind Sorc, but possibly could be in front of Sorc. It depends, you know, your player base. It is absolutely a coward's dream playing a Nightblade right now. They have a lot of bursts. They have a lot of great sets for it. And even the conditional, when you cast a shadow ability, like, thanks, you know, like, you're really setting the bar high there for proccing a major vuln, right? And also, like, it also dodges the next attack. So, every 6 seconds, you get to factor in an automatic 100% dodge on something that's supposed to hit you. It'll just be dodged. This class is already annoying to deal with. They could brawl. They could use this. Again, most people, you don't even have to be a brawl. Like, classic Nightblade Brawler build wouldn't even use stealth, really. You could use stealth with this because they have such a hefty heal. And so better Nightblades may use this, but, you know, the percentage is very low on that. So, later down they removed another batch of counters. Okay, I'll get to that. Hang on. Hang tight. Yeah, there you guys go. You're telling me what's coming but I understand. All right, let's move on. Warden, who has, as we were just talking about earlier this stream, one of the probably the best class mastery, right? It's absolutely juiced. An automatic charm. What are they giving them? Penetration, weapon damage. Wow, starting off real strong, very offensive. Dealing damage with a light attack. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. It'll apply Eagle's Mark to your target for 12 seconds. Eagle's Mark causes an eagle to attack your target every 3 seconds after a 3-second delay, dealing physical damage per attack and increasing your damage done with animal companion abilities by 10% against them. Not stacking though, right? This effect can occur every 3 seconds but cannot be applied to enemies who already have Eagle's Mark. You can have one Eagle's Mark active at a time. I'm assuming this doesn't stack, but basically this is applying a unique debuff to a target. That target will take damage, which is not listed. If it's pretty substantial damage, it's great because like the 2, 3, 4 bonus is awesome. Animal companion abilities by 10%, not bad. I mean, for the most part, this is just going to affect people's shocks. There's other stuff they could do, though, if they really wanted to gear towards this. Interesting set, not really needed. I'm assuming this doesn't stack. Alright. Like, this effect can occur every 3 seconds, but cannot be applied. Like, you just Eagle's Mark and that's it, right? So, you can only... Yeah, you can have one Eagle's Mark active at a time. But they're saying this can happen every 3 seconds. This effect occurs every 3 seconds, but cannot be applied to enemies who already have the mark. But you can only have one mark. I don't know. Ultimately, like, here's the thing. A lot of people, you're not, like, shocking for 1v1s. And the thing is, like, this set's not going to affect your other abilities. Because, like, if you're fighting a Warden, he's doing other stuff. He's going to be using, he's still going to use, whether he's a two-handed guy and he's uppercutting you, or he's using like an ice staff build, or whatever it is, right? Like, it's not going to boost those things, but the 2, 3, 4 is good, and it still would boost your shocks. It really comes down to, like, if this thing's substantial, this amount of damage, whatever it does here, if that's like really substantial, then it could be good by itself without factoring this in, and this is the bonus kicker that you could get. So, ultimately, I don't think it's that great. But, like, you know, there's very likely going to be better stuff. Unless you really build for, like, Animal Companion line build, right? So, there's the take. More testing required. Next up, Corpse Buster. The Necromancer, the Grave Lord. Weapon damage, crit chance. Consuming a corpse causes corpse to explode, dealing magic damage to enemies within 5 meters. Increasing by 10% for each Gravelord ability slotted. This effect can occur once every 0.5 seconds and scales off higher of your weapon and spell damage. From what I saw, again, on the ESO live stream, the tooltip on this looked pretty low. Like, it wasn't great. I don't think I think, like, this sounds cool. This sounds like somebody just came off playing Diablo, and they're like, we should have that. But, like, You can only blow up one corpse at a time, you understand. And then you gotta wait 0.5 seconds. What I'm trying to say is this thing probably blows. All right, this probably sucks. Unless this corpse explosion is gonna do, like, it should do pretty high damage. It should be doing pretty high damage, and it's probably not. Because even if it did, let's say it did, like, pretty good damage. I'm not talking, like, vicious death high, but, like, let's say maybe half that value. Then you could start to be like, wow, these corpses around us exploding are a problem. Because, like, at best, it's hard to presume you're going to get, like, timed burst damage, right? Like, a blast bones could go in, and then you could drain the body. Because I'm trying to think, like, nobody plays Necro anymore. Like, there's only so many things I can do with a corpse, right? I can tether it. I can drain it. There's no, like, extra explosion I'm going to do on top of it. Because you're giving up a GCD to consume a corpse to apply pressure by proccing this set. I don't know. Overall, probably overthinking it. It's probably blows, dude. Alright. Set sucks. It has a 5-meter radius. Yeah, I don't think people that make Necro... No one's playing the Necromancer at ZeniMax, alright? The past year and a half, this class has been woefully underplayed, underutilized. People have been asking for buffs. Was it last patch or the patch before the devs came out and said this is a debuff class? After 10 years of ESO being a play how you want game, they're like, yeah, actually your class is it's actually a go fuck yourself because I didn't get to it this patch, okay? So I'm gonna throw out some cheese dick line like it's actually a debuffer class. That way I don't have to do my job. Because like what they've done with it's criminal. Like the Necro has been in need of help for a while. People said it got buffs, and I'm sure we'll get to it. So maybe they're not making it just a debuffer class. Maybe someone works some time in their schedule to finally buff it. We'll see. But overall, this set probably blows. Coming back to our point. Okay, let's move on. Let's check it out. So, like some of these sets, they literally have to be tested. Like as much as you read the thumbnails here or the tooltips values, right? You just got to test them. All right, what do we got here? Arcanist, crit chance, weapon damage. Okay, it's good for Arcanist. Dealing damage with an Arcanist ability applies 2 random status effects to your target. This can occur once every 7 seconds. Dealing damage with a Herald of the Time. Isn't a Herald the Tome? Reduce the cooldown by half a second up to once every 1 second. So you can lower the cooldown of this set. You can apply extra status effects to your target. I don't know if this would overwrite others. Like if they already had ones from like a Destro staff debuff. So like can I apply like hemorrhaging and sundered? Could work well with Arcanist, but I don't have enough information, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how effective this would be. I'd probably want to ramp up crit and do what Arcanists do. But it could be good for pressure, I suppose. But probably doesn't work well. I don't know. But it could. You know? How's that? I really don't know what to tell you. It's an interesting set. But this would really just come down to like a pressure setup. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's the best thing I want to do with my 5-piece bonuses. Item set curation editions. We're going to move right on, okay? More testing to be done. We'll check some of these out. Because I will check some of these out probably on the PTS, see if they're even worth going at, some of them. Overall, I think the Templar one, if the values, like I said earlier, they looked really impressive, and frankly, this is like a good set. Like, you know, we're getting some real meat here and just like a flat damage bonus that has full uptime, plus Sundered. Sundered, very good. Sundered also giving you weapon damage, also debuffing them, and applying some extra damage. This is happening every 6 seconds, right? I could see this in place of Tarnished on a better stat build. So, DK one I think blows. Sork one's out of touch. The Nightblade one is way out of touch, dude. Whoever's making these Nightblade changes, dude, should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Really should. It's goddamn shameful what they're doing to Nightblades out here. Ward one's interesting. Necro one probably is trash. This one, Arcanist, I don't know. Again, and if you're using this too, like this is going to be, it's a single target build. This is a single target pressure thing. So like keep that in mind. That's the only utility case it has. In other words, not in Cyrodiil. Unfortunately, you know, talking like Battlegrounds maybe. Item set curation additions to assist with various item chase throughout Tamriel. The following coffer will now offer curation. As with all curation, the coffers will only reward items you have not yet collected. This is probably, they mentioned this on the ESO live stream. This is probably one of the best quality of life changes in the patch. So, Undaunted, Imperial City, and Weekly Trials. What this means is, you know, a lot of you guys know the curation. If you don't know this, in short, let's say I already have a medium Bloodspawn helmet. I'm trying to get my heavy one. Well, you know, using the sticker book stuff or whatever, you won't get another. If you open up another box for Bloodspawn, you wouldn't get a medium. They'll give you the heavy or the light. You know, if you get the light, now you're guaranteed to get the heavy type thing. So, like, this is good. That's actually, that's really, really nice. So, 8 Undaunted keys. Take it easy, dude. That's... Okay. Anyway, you know... Okay. Yeah. It's the thought that counts. Master Writ. Okay. Alright, we got some Master Writ stuff there. New skill styles. 3 are available for Undaunted keys and Archival Fortunes. I imagine that's fortunes. Okay. We got more purple, 2 purples, and we got momentum on yellow. So fortunately, you'll never have to see this skill because no one uses it because it sucks. Okay. Twin Slashes we'll see. Elemental Storm, you better believe it. Silver Bolts we'll see out there. We can get a gold one of those. Roar. Chat, help me out. What's Roar? Where's this skill at? And then we have Annulment. Brother, nobody's using Annulment anymore. Is it the werewolf? That's what they mean? That's weird. Okay. They picked just one werewolf, so I figured they'd kind of throw them in together. Or like maybe do like a patch and put them all in and then all vampire. But okay. Yeah, it's the werewolf and the number 3 skill. Okay. I got you. So that's our AoE fear, debuff, whatever you want to call it. New collectibles. Wow. Okay, achievements and titles. Mount preview improvements. You can now see what your mount... You can see how your mount runs in the menu when you're deciding which of your mounts to pick up. There's the last remembered guild. Okay, let's move on to combat. Achievements. Yes, not that. Oh, here we go. Greetings, everyone. All right, now we know who's responsible for the changes we're about to read. It's Gilliam. Update 43 is here. And with it, a slew of changes focused on following up this year's big feature, scribing. We've gone through much of the feedback that has come in between Update 42's PTS cycle and the feature going live, resulting in some updates to the potency of some scripts and grimoire combinations, general buffs to numbers, bug fixing, and some functionality changes in rare cases. We've got plenty more outside of scribing, however, with a handful of updates and additions to some class ability functionality, primarily focused on improving Necromancer's access to the major and minor system. The highly requested in-combat casting of Sacrificial Bones, and a few morph buffs to spice up some gameplay potential. We also have some moderate adjustments to Wardens that aim to help differentiate power levels if you're a tank or damage dealer, to reduce some of the power that class can easily access in PvP. We're also reorganizing some Nightblade abilities to make sure they better align with their source skill line's vision and theme, while ever so slightly improving their PvE damage production and peeling back some of the ease of defensive power that Assassin playstyle has access to. So they're reorganizing the Warden, okay. The Necro, hell yeah, brother. The Nightblade, we're reorganizing Nightblade abilities to make sure they better align with their source skill line's vision and theme. Okay. They're going to improve their PvE damage production and peel back some of the ease of defensive power. All right, so we'll see what all that means. Outside of that, we have a handful of other adjustments, such as making Vampires Undeath passive less restrictive but also less powerful, cleaning up a bunch of item set interactions, better splitting the morph functionality of Abyssal Impact, and a hefty amount of bug fixes involving stealth interaction. That about wraps up the main points to expect this update. Thanks for reading, and we hope to see you in Tamriel. Okay. So the Undeath, people have been asking for that to be adjusted for some time now. That's good to hear. We also have bug fixes involving stealth interaction. You know, that could really go any way. It really could. I imagine it's going to be so they're not pulled out of stealth by certain things. But, yeah, we'll see what that means. I'm seeing a lot of attention Nightblades out here, you know? I feel like some people only play Nightblades sometimes. General fixed an issue where group members' health could appear desynced. You don't know the half of it, dude. Arcanist, let's jump into it. Here we go. Herald of Tone. Abyssal Impact. So we have Flail, the main spammable, the tentacle spam of Arcanist. This morph no longer gains execute scaling damage. What? The healing from this morph now only occurs with the ability to damage the target to ensure it can only be used aggressively rather than at any time. And then we have the other morph, Dread. This morph now increases damage done by 33% per crux consumed, up from 20%. One of them consumes cruxes? I don't even know. Bro, why do they do this to this? In this pass, we're trying to better align some power dynamic between these morphs. Very early in development, Flail was actually used predominantly as an execute, with much more potent scaling, but over time during the class development, we reduced this function when Fate Carver came into being and took the spotlight. Originally, we kept this functionality to pay homage to that, but since both morphs added damage functionalities, it created a situation where one was always going to be better than the other. Rather than trying to have an arms race between the two, we've done more of a hard split where Flail remains the generic buff morph that allows you to gain additional effects from contextual uses, while Dread more radically shifts how the ability is utilized. In addition to this, the increased drain of crux that Dread asks of you wasn't as rewarding as we would have liked, so we're bumping up the reward. So this morph increases its damage done per crux consumed. Well, so wait, does the other one actually consume? Will it consume all your cruxes? Get fucked Arcanist means. Wow, Toxic in the chat. That one already hit for 15k average or 3 crux. 30% more is nice. Yeah, for like Brawler, like when I played Arcanist, I played it as a Brawler with no beam. But I still used Flail for cruxes and stuff, so I don't know. The other one created crux, I believe. Well, that's the main one everyone used. It did execute damage, it had a root, and it created crux. I know that. I don't even know what the other one did. Yeah. Alright. Well, there's a punch to Arcanist, dude. Unnecessary. It is what it is. Okay, Necromancer. Here we go. This is what all 3 Necromancers in Tamriel have been waiting for. Added major and minor effects to numerous necromantic abilities to help the class better enfeeble their foes and empower themselves with the taste of death. Alright. The following minions' abilities will now only generate a corpse if their summoner was also in combat. Following minions' abilities if their summoner was in combat. An effort to reduce the ability to generate ultimate adamant combat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So all the things that gave you corpses, they don't want you to do that out of combat. Okay. Gravelord, Boneyard. This ability and morphs now apply minor vuln to enemies inside the area. The chill of death embraces those in its wake. Unnerving Boneyard. This ability's minor vuln and major breach now persists on the enemy for 4.1 seconds each tick, rather than only while in the area. Okay. It's alright. much easier access in scribing, especially to minor vul. In a major breach, we work in a multitude of ways, whether it's scribing or destro staff. But okay, sure, we'll take it. It's not bad. What's really big here about it is that it persists. That part's nice. Sacrificial bones. This ability in the Grave Lord's sacrifice morph no longer require to be in combat in order to cast them. Sorry, I was just thinking. The other one doesn't major breach, right? That's the one you can synergize yourself. So yeah, which wouldn't be great. Okay. Anyway, Sacrificial Bones. This ability in the Gravelord's Sacrifice morph no longer require you to be in combat in order to cast them. Sacrificial Bones. Fix an issue where the damage increase from this ability of morphs did not properly update many ability tooltips. Alright, what's Sacrificial Bones? Someone help me out here. What am I even looking at, dude? Let's use ESO Hub. ESO Hub has an answer to everything. Oh, this is Blast Bones. Okay. Alright, so Blast Bones. Wow, this ability... Wait, how do you not have to be in combat? What do you target? Fix an issue where the... Wait, what? Oh, wait, was this the other morph? The skeleton leaps to you? Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the other morph of this skill. Okay. Or, I mean, this is the base use of it. The base unmorphed. I totally forgot they made a Blast Bones that jumped at you. I'm sorry. I don't even know why that was invented. It's the PvE morph that sucks in PvE. Yeah, my apologies. I didn't know they were still hanging on to this thing. I actually... I'm sorry. I thought it was like... I didn't even remember. Fix the issue with the damage increase from this ability worse than not update the many tools. What's it do again? Hang on. Let me read. Let me see this for chat. Right. While in combat, summon a skeleton on the ground after 2.5 seconds. The skeleton leaps to you, sacrificing their soul. Energy 20 seconds, increasing your damage done with class abilities and damage over time by 15%. While active, your third cast of Flame Skull deals its damage in an area and creates a corpse near the enemy. Bro, they were out of ideas when they made this skill. Alright. I don't know what to say about this. We're gonna move on to Shocking Siphon. This ability and its morphs now also grant you Major Prophecy and Savagery for 20 seconds. Okay. Okay. Such lack of respect for the dead spurs the spreading of more of it. That's stupid. That was a bad sentence. Detonating Siphon, fix an issue where the damage from the explosion of this morph could not be blocked. Yeah, this is the damage tether. I guess this is PvE though, right? I mean, people may utilize it for the major savagery and stuff, but generally people are using a pot if they want to. For the three necromancers that exist in PvP, they were using pots, or they also had options via scribing now, or they were just using Evil Hunter. Does this really warrant me putting it on the tether skill? I'm not really sure, right? I feel like there should be, because one of them exploded at the end. It exploded the corpse tether, which is like fine for PvE, but in PvP, like, I don't know. More to the point, the fucking explosion, it's like, who cares, right? It's gonna be like, hang on guys, he's about to get hit by my shocking siphon corpse explosion. Like, it would, you know, it's irrelevant. Alright, I don't know. So, I mean, it's cool they threw this on. It's good for PvE, right? Because you would have already been using this for PvE, I imagine, right? I don't know. It's nice that it's in the class kit, I guess. Skeletal Mage. This ability and its morphs now also grant major brutality and sorcery when they're active. So, okay. Alright, so here's brutality and sorcery. Do we use Skeletal Mage in PvP, though? No. No, isn't Skeletal Mage like the archer guy or the other dude? It's not that one up there, is it? Am I crazy? Is it this one? No. Where's Skeletal Mage? Skeletal Archer does negative damage. It's nice to have a source. Take me to the Skeletal Mage. Oh, here it is. How did we not see it? Alright. Fights by your side 20 seconds. The mage attacks close enemy for 2 seconds. Mage deals damage to all other enemies. Or the archer, where each time the archer deals damage, the next attacks will do 15% more than the previous. I mean, isn't this like terrible? For BG, sometimes, yeah. But like, no, I'm serious. Like, and can you summon a skeletal archer and it's gonna be doing like you're giving up a skill. I guess again you can access brutality or sorcery, but again with scribing, there's other ways to cut it. You can't just slot these skills because you didn't like have brutality sorcery. And sure, it offers a corpse, but like, is the damage even relevant? It can do like 3k damage per tick. But the skeletal archer seems like the one I'd want, and it scales up, right? This one's like AoE, but I just don't get this. It's not amazing. This is a buff for overland PvE players, I guess. I mean, I'm sorry. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand where I'm going to see Necro make the leap. Now, it's nice they're putting in buffs in here, but thus far it seems like we're just slipping in buffs into skills that are used in a standard PvE rotation. Alright. Thus far. That's what I'm getting. So we'll see. Okay. Let's keep moving, though. We're not done. Just getting started with the Necro. Bone Tyrant. Bone Armor. This ability is forced to also grant minor resolve for the duration. The bones must be belong to milk drinkers. This is the biggest buff so far. For PvP, sorry. Summoner's Armor. This morph now also lasts 30 seconds, up from 20. Let's fucking go, dude. Alright? Let's go. Now I know what you're thinking. Feng, I already get minor resolve for my Vigor. Alright? Not if you're in Cyrodiil, because you're in a ball group, dude. If you're not, you're fucking dead because you're playing Necro. Alright? That's impactful, at least. I think we can all agree. That's nice. Lasting 30 seconds is nice, too. On this one. Isn't it the other one that pulls people? I hate that one. So many of you guys that play Necro, all three of you dudes, you use this shit. Beckoning Armor. You guys are not only annoying, but I still don't understand why you do it. You're like, look, I pulled you in. You have free CC cooldown now, Fang. I'm like, thanks. You're actually helping me. I've never been pulled by a Necro, and I'm like, oh no. I'm in trouble now. But, okay. Let's keep moving. It's something. Alright, Bone Totem. This ability in S'mores now apply major cowardice to enemies inside it. This energy is granted from this morph. Pure Agony no longer applies minor vuln. As it's now on Boneyard. So this is the AoE Fear. And it does major cowardice. Okay, that's not bad. That's nice. I'm still not picking this puppy up right now. I'm still not convinced that my Necro is going to be played differently yet. But that's nice. I don't know how, you know, there hasn't been a lot of Bone Totemers out there. But, okay. Grave Grasp. Man, they butchered this skill. This morph now also deals damage equal to half the normal area effect spammable attack to enemies in each patch. What? This morph now also deals damage equal to half of a normal area effects. Oh, they mean like an AoE attack. It deals half that. Thanks. Thanks, Chief. This ability now ranks up to 1.1% damage per rank. Dude. Nothing in this developer comment's gonna make me put this on my bar. We're adding some additional damage sources outside the Necro's Gravelord skill line to help inject some contextual options for damage production without harming their utility. While this ability won't outweigh some purely damage-oriented skills with proper aiming, Emplacement. The ability to hit the same enemy with multiple patches allows for some powerful damage scaling that can contextually outperform other ability options. I would love to know what fucking snow globe you're living in to use this shit, dude. Go to Serial right now at 7 p.m. and tell me how you contextually outperform people with Grave Grasp. I fucking dare you, dude. I dare you to just hit people with this skill on the move, all right? And be like, I hope you're not wearing snow treaders because I'm using the worst ability in my kit right now, and I have a point to prove, okay? Because you're not hitting them, okay? It doesn't even matter. This is the stupidest skill, dude. Oh, my God. Dude, just give me that Nightblade set, alright? Be like, hey, you got major vulned because I'm a necromancer and you hit me. I also automatically dodged you. It's gonna happen again in 6 seconds. Alright? Just put that on Grave Grasp, and maybe people will use it. Alright? Give them the Nightblade set this patch. Fuck, dude. Alright, Living Death, Spirit Mender, Intensive Mender Morph. This morph now also heals 2 additional allies within 8 meters of the original target. Since the morph did not add direct power... Since the morph did not add direct power to the base utility... Oh, okay. Ability. Okay. Intensive Mender can heal for a lot, actually. 32 seconds restoring health, creates a course on death. So, and all else. Okay, so this is actually pretty good. This, I really like the armor buff, but this may be one of the most, and understand you have to be in a group to get the utility out of this. But this is really good. Because it's not losing, it already could heal for a lot, now it's going to heal other people. That's actually, as PvP goes, man, it's like one of the strongest things. This is nice. I mean, but if I want to play a necro healer, like I could Echoing Vigor, take this on, always have Minor Resolve, and do my job better with this. Right? I could make Necro Healer better. You could just Necro Shield though, alright? Because I already made a build for that on the website, and it's goddamn potent. Okay? I'm just gonna say, I'm not crazy about this. For PvP, Cam, are you still here? Cam is the only guy in my community that plays Necromancer. Are you here, Cam? Because I think you said you were excited about Necro, but I'm not seeing it, dude. There's some PvE things like Siphon and Mage that are really gonna add up front to their bar. This skill's, I can't believe they're still doing stuff for this skill. But like, how are we feeling stronger with the Necro? Because I'm not seeing it right now. This is a lot of changes that don't really change a lot for it in PvP. There's a lot of buffs, right? There's major cowardice on the fear thing. Am I using it? I don't know. Bar space is a struggle with Necro already. Cam said he didn't want the new Mender to be exposed as being OP. It'll be really strong, but Cam's desperate. I don't think he's here, is he? So it's not gonna be OP, so to speak. Cam's desperate for the Necro to succeed. All right. If they have one skill that's like performing up to the level of like one of the 8 Warden skills, then Cam's gonna be like, "This is it, boys. This is the ticket. This is it. Things are gonna change around here." And even if you're a damage dealer, like, this would be really nice. This skill is very nice. Like, don't get me wrong. This is impactful. And yes, you might be able to tooltip this in a pretty wild way. But with the rest of it all, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Because with Minor Resolve, everyone's gonna run Vigor in a real build, so like they didn't pick up power here. They're not trading out Vigor and putting in Minor Resolve and running something else to heal. Right? Not unless they're depending on someone else. So, ultimately, a lot of changes to Necromancer. Maybe it helps with PvE. But I don't think mission accomplished at all for PvP. it's still a great shield class, and it's not that like you can't kill people in PvP, but you're not going to kill other people of equal skill level on some of the other classes, like a Sork right now or something, right? Like, how does this change my life fighting a Sork? Anything in here? How did anything help to change my life as a Necro fighting a Sork right now? Ain't a goddamn thing in here, dude. Nothing's gonna help me. Am I supposed to hit a one of these multiple patches? Am I gonna hit a Sork with multiple patches for some powerful damage scaling that can contextually outperform some abilities? You understand the guy that's making these changes is testing this on target dummies. You understand that. So, like, this skill shoots, like, 3 circles, and there's, like, Venn diagram mixes, all right? He's like, oh, yes, when I hit that target dummy standing at 3 meters away, boy, that really optimized it. Like, that's... So it's really unfortunate where it's at. Let's move on. Necro still needs help. Nightblade shifted numerous Nightblade abilities to improve their thematic tie into the skill line, while simultaneously addressing some long-standing balance issues the class has had in PvP environments. These changes are listed below rather than explaining each an isolated bullet point. Goddamn right, dude. They better have done something to this fucking class right now. It's so annoying to deal with. So they're moving Blur and its morphs out of the Assassination skill line and into the Shadow skill line. Blur is now the first ability in the Shadow line, taking the place of Veiled Strike. This means Blur and its morphs will now be treated as Shadow abilities and interact with augments that come from the Shadow skill tree rather than the Assassination line. Moved Veiled Strike and its morphs to the Shadow skill line and into the Assassin skill line. Veiled Strike is now the first... Okay. Alright. Moved Assassin's Blade and its morphs to the open slot that Blur originally occupied as the third ability. Okay. We're going through and cleaning up some large inconsistencies with the Nightblade class by reorganizing some abilities that fell out of place thematically and the skill line, as well as bounce-wise. Blur, an ability that focuses on aiding your evasive and tank-like abilities, is now placed in Shadow as it operates more heavily within that theme and its skill lines. Veiled Strike, an ability that focuses on dealing consistent and precise damage, has been moved. Yeah. Okay. The reason any of this matters so far, chat, is just because of passives, right? Fucking Christ, dude. So assassins, they moved... What did he move? We have Blur, Veiled Strike, and Assassin's Blade. So here's Assassin's Blade and Blur. These both get moved out, did he say? I mean, he couldn't. He had to swap, too. So Blur's in Shadow. Veiled Strikes is Assassin. Assassin Blade just got moved. Okay, that's just... Okay, so they just swapped 2 skills. I'm sorry. I don't play Nightblade as many as some of the degenerates in ESO. So I have to look at this a little more. They have quite potent passives, though. Because this is going to affect their major resolve uptime, right? Creating major resolve for 6 seconds. Right. Okay, because this was on their offensive spammable. So what's it going to be, Nightblades? Oh, Cloak. Oh. Alright, well. Alright, this could be a buff then, right? So Assassin passives. This class has such crazy passives every time I look at it. Fuck it, dude. Here's 10% crit damage, too. Oh, do you want minor savagery with it? Jesus Christ. Okay. What does this really change, then? What does this really change? Pretty rough change for PP, in my opinion, unless you're just spamming Cloak. Well, here's the thing. A lot of Nightblades kind of are. That's part of what I mean. Like... there was a lot more. There's not as many skilled players in 2024 in ESO. I get it. But, like, Nightblade is, you know, there were so many that were, like, pretty damn good players. Hate them or love them, whatever. Like, there were a lot of pretty decent players that ran some good setups on Nightblades. You can get killed by, like, really garbage players on Nightblade now. Like, you just couldn't CC break in time. Or they hit you when you're, like, fucking scratching your nose and you could die. Like, you can die very quickly from a Nightblade that didn't really do much but put together a build he found that does work well. It's got a lot of crit damage. You're just done, right? So, I mean, they're in the shadows a lot to begin with. My point is, most aren't brawling. There used to be Nightblades, like, you know, yeah, sure, they'd open on you stealth. They might knock someone out and people start going at him. And they're, like, moving around. They're, like, hitting around the rock. They're re-stealthing. They're dodge rolling certain hits. These motherfuckers are running in, like, just stealth juke, just changing directions because of the visual desync of ESO on where you see their character and where they actually are. This in conjunction with stealth is very annoying. And between that, they can use a heal that shoots them back to full. A lot of them are just doing that, and other than that, they're just ganking. That is it. This is how a majority of people are playing it right now. What does that really change us, you know, seeing this? Random tarnish, in caps, you don't break free, block or dodge immediately, you're dead. Yeah, or they're just doing it with, there's a lot that's just doing it with, Destro staff too, right? Where they're just poking, they're surfing behind, they're poking you with that, and then they're launching in Merciless as well. And, like, they're good. I'm good. This is my entire gameplay experience for the night. So, that is a majority of Nightblades. Right? So anyway, I get there's like they change this for theme purposes. Okay. The other thing about that new set they're added is for Shadow, right? So I guess if you use Cloak, right? And there are people that use Path too. So like, even on their like solo Nightblade, some people Path. So there's a fair amount. You can get movement from it and all that. So I don't think they're gonna have problems keeping up Major Resolve, if that's what this is. I feel like I'm the only one that enjoys playing a healer Nightblade. I mean, you're not. They're pretty popular for ball groups. They're very good healers. Nightblade's very powerful for healing. Increase your physical and spell pen. That's a straight passive. When an enemy dies, straight passive. Okay. So if anything, they could pick up pressure points, another on their spammable bar if they weren't already. I don't know. I don't even get it. But okay, they move those around. I'm spending too much time on this probably. Used to be a Nightblade brawler before they got juiced beyond belief. Skill floor has been raised so high now. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Let's move on. So developer comments. All right, Shadow Barrier. This passive now grants its major resolve for 6 to 12 seconds. I'm sitting here wasting all my time on this. They just up it to 12 seconds rather than 3 to 6. It now increases by 2 seconds per piece of heavy armor worn at either rank, rather than extending duration by 25% per piece worn. Now that Veiled Strikes no longer activates as passive, we're making it easier to manage for the class. Shut the fuck up, dude. I'm so tired of dealing with this fucking class, dude. Like, how much hand-holding do you need? It's a joke. I'm sorry, I don't need to read anymore. Siphoning. Fixed an issue where this ability and Morph's healing failed to activate and the target was blocking. Funnel health. This Morph now heals up to 3 targets rather than 2. Its Morph power upgrades similar to radiating regen. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to read anymore. Combat developers ZeniMax, you're trash. Step into PvP and stream it. I fucking dare you. You'll be fucking laughed out by every single person that PvPs in this game. Stop fucking touching the Nightblade in such a way. It's so fucking annoying. It's so aggravating. There's so few people left PvPing, and all you do is you come in here every fucking now and then to give Nightblade some kind of random gift that they didn't even need. It's fucking loser shit, dude. And not addressing the burst at all, by the way. Not addressing the burst. People are getting ganked all over the place. If you actually read the fucking feedback on forums, that's what people are complaining about. They're tired of Sorks that are way overperforming, way too strong, with a juiced up shield that you buffed for fuck knows what reason. I guess so the people heavy attacking with lightning staff in fucking Maelstrom don't die and they can press one button. Great. And then on the other side of the fence we have Nightblades. How did you address their damage, by the way? Right? I don't even know. Who cares, right? Like, it's so annoying. It's trash changes, dude. Absolute trash changes. Waste of time. Thanks for thematic shit and just dog water. You have no idea what's going on in Cyrodiil. Daedric summoning, Daedric curse. Here we go. This ability is more now dealer full damage in an area around the cursed enemy rather than dealing the full damage to the cursed enemy and half the damage in the area around them. Deals full damage in an area around them rather than dealing full damage to the cursed and half in the area. So wait, they just buffed this? This damage can now be blocked. Most people, this couldn't be blocked, so people were upset about it. That's good. As this feature was never mentioned on the ability and is not considered a dot, nor is damage based. Okay, so it's blockable. A lot of people usually hit a proper Sork is timing his streak with his other burst as the curse goes off. So, good Sork player, not going to be affected by this. This part of it, they just buff the AoE damage on it. Daedric Prey, this morph now properly mentions it also forces your active pets to prioritize the target. They're moving forward with a change that streamlines this ability into one powerful area attack rather than splitting it between a single and an area attack. In addition, removing some remnant bounce behavior of being unable to block, yada yada. This should help reduce this incredibly powerful burst that the class can constantly dish out in PvP from a base, and instead shift the focus to only be able to pull these events off when they're taking riskier plays. What do you mean, like holding block while streaking through a target with a 10,000 shield? Is that a risky play? You know, I don't want to be an asshole when I read the patch notes. I really don't. I'm not trying to be a dick. But like, the people making these changes are really bad at their job. Okay? Like, don't put shit like the word PvP and shit if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you're that out of touch with the people, that PvP, it's such an act of disrespect to them. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. So, just when you actually have people that PvP and there's like a 90% consensus on what you should do with this skill, why don't you do that? Why don't you just implement something 90% of the people are asking for? Be like, I have an idea. Why don't I make curse hit in an AoE? There it is. If you go to the fucking forums, let's look what's in the combat section of your forums. This is on your forums, ZeniMax. You're interested. Oh, look at this. Look what the longest thread in your PvP and combat and skills section is. Hardened Ward, where player base skill can go from C tier to S tier. Look at that. It's your longest thread right now. Looks like a lot of people are complaining about Hardened Ward. Where's that in the patch notes? Fucking nowhere, dude. Fucking nowhere. You threw in a buff to curse and then talk about some bullshit about Cirques taking risky plays. These motherfuckers are not taking risky plays with massive shields. Get it together, and don't pretend you're making PvP changes when you're completely ignoring people. Like, if you just want to handle PvE, just do that. Make changes and reference some bullshit about PvE. Like, and that's fine. Do that. And be like, I guess we're just left out in the dark. But, like, you shouldn't be doing this kind of fucking work if you're just going to dog down your player base. You actually... I'm sorry. I'm a bit pissed because it just fills me with resentment. Like, that you can sit here and pretend to make PvP changes and you have no fucking idea what's going on. It's very frustrating. Alright? And the curse thing? Who the fuck asked for this shit? Could I even find this on the forums? Could I even find anywhere where someone's like, can curse do full damage? Sorks are struggling right now. Thanks, boss. Nobody wants that. Nobody asked for it. I'm a Sorc player. We don't need this shit. You need to come at them with a hammer right now. And it's not going to affect PvE. The actual changes you need to do are not going to affect PvE. Okay? That's the reality of the situation. You can actually make changes to help PvP that aren't going to hurt PvE. And what do? Type some giant-ass paragraph about some shit nobody gives a fuck about. That's what you actually did. Templar, Dawn's Wrath, Radiant Destruction. Fix an issue where this ability and its Morse visuals would appear to spill out and reflect on yourself when the abilities trigger the overcharge status effect on the enemy target. Cool. Alright, well that's fixed. That's good. Love getting Radiant. It's definitely good where it's at right now. Undodgeable range attack with instant first tick that's channeled. We'd love to get Radiant Destruction. That's a fun combo right there, ZeniMax. I'd love to see that in the stream you'll never do that you should do. Going out into PvP. Ever been hit with a flare into a javelin from a stealth guy that immediately radiants you and you die before you can even finish flying through the air? It's really fun. Should try it out sometime. Or you can watch a Sorc make a risky play. Increase the stun duration on Sun Sphere for Solar Flare and Empower granted from this ability, and the Dark Flare morph to 10 seconds, up from 5. Alright, doesn't really matter. Warden, let's see what they did with Warden, because they said they were toning this down. Winter's Embrace, Arctic Wind, Arctic Blast. This morph now instantly deals damage equal to the normal AoE spammable attack rather than healing you instantly. Instead, the healing happens if no targets are affected by the stun. The damage over time now only starts after 2-second delay rather than instant. Am I thinking of the right skill? Arctic. I can't spell it, dude. Let's just go down to the skill. Am I thinking of the right one? We have Arctic Blast. Envelop yourself in winter wind healing. Yeah, so they're changing the burst heal? Is that what's happening? Arctic Blast? Because polar wind, envelop yourself in the outline of the winds. Arctic Blast. Envelop yourself in winter winds, instantly heal. The winds persist for 20 seconds. Chill foes. Dealing damage every 2 seconds, stunning them for... Okay, I wasn't thinking of the right one. The initial... Okay. I didn't even realize the other morph also burst heals you. That's fucking phenomenal. Alright, so let me reread this with that knowledge. Morph now instantly deals damage equal to a normal AoE. Okay. Rather than healing you instantly. Instead, the healing happens if no targets are affected by the stun. And the stun was conditional off of dealing frost every 2 seconds and stunning them for 2 seconds for 3 seconds after activating. Okay. So only if they were hanging in it for 2 seconds. The damage over time now only starts after 2 seconds. So basically, if no one's hanging in your AoE, then condition happens. Then the healing happens. So it's not a burst heal. Reduce the damage over time by this tick, resulting in little to no changes. Reduce the base chance to apply chilled status. So, forgive me. I never played Warden enough to use the other morph. I never really did Mag Warden much. I was polar winding people otherwise. So the other one burst healed you and did the AoE chill that would stun people. It also had the same burst heal. Alright, but it doesn't do that now. I mean, you can still use the other one, right? Like, whatever. Okay, what's the developer? In this pass, we're taking how this ability functions to reduce some of its raw power to do damage, crowd control, and heal all at once. Yeah, so it would seem. Now the ability can be used to deal the damage. Same total damage over its duration with more focus on the upfront. It's our hope that these changes will help the Warden class access powerful tools from their kit without the overwhelming power they enabled in PvP situations. Okay. Piercing Cold. Rework this ability and granting varying effects based on your max health to better align with the passive being for tanks, while continuing to offer something for damage dealers. Sorry, hang on. What the hell's Piercing Cold, brothers? The passive. Increase your damage done by 2%, which increases to 12% when wielding an ice staff. God damn. Ice Wardens were eating good, dude. All right. So this passive to grant varying effects. So this is a max health passive now. This passive now grants piercing cold for 6 seconds when you deal frost damage up to once every 6 seconds. If you have 30,000 or more max health, aka every warden that's playing the game, piercing cold increases the damage you block by 12%. If you have less than that, though, it grants you more damage done. Well, not many people are going to dip into damage done. We're reevaluating this pass to reduce the restrictions it places on bells while simultaneously making sure we offer a tank-oriented bonus for tanking-based skill line. In addition to this, we're ensuring the bonuses are less likely to inject offensive power in PvP scenarios, as the Warden is already consistently finding success at dealing damage while remaining tanky. The damage bonuses are less than the previous iteration of the passive. Okay. That's it? That's it for Warden? Dude. Okay. This is not what's wrong with Warden, by the way. Okay. Alright. Hang on. Sorry, I got a reference where they talked about Warden earlier in this fucking thread, because it's just funny at this point. The moderate adjustments to Warden aim to help differentiate its power if you're a tank or damage dealer to reduce some of the power the class can easily access in PvP. This isn't even the first shit I read. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe it is. Who knows? I don't, dude. Alright. Listen. I mean, Warden's really strong. It's like your go-to. But this doesn't really do anything. This kind of impacts, like, Warden ice builds, which are highly effective, by the way. They'll kick your ass. And I've for the one skilled Warden player left in the game, apparently, that I've encountered in BGs. Because between their class mastery, slow, and charm, and running, like, an ice build, I just haven't had much interest to do it. But yes, it could be strong, and yes, this will negatively impact that. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, what do I get? I increase the damage I could block, right? Which, unironically, is one of the most desperately in need systems of a rework is block, at least for PvP. Disgusting. You can go from instantly killing a guy, he's got 35, 40,000 health. You go from a situation where you can instantly kill targets in Cyrodiil with that much health to, oh, actually they're blocking, and I literally did about 20% of their health. Like, that's how much block is mitigating. And they're like, yeah, no. So, alright, whatever, dude. Who cares, dude? Who cares? Noteworthy, thank you. 17 months. Thank you for the primer. Welcome back. Overall, this didn't really, change anything, you know? But there you have it. There it is. Let's see what else they touch. We're not done. We still got more combat changes. Weapon destruction staff. Ancient knowledge. Fix an issue where this passive could cause your health bar to glow permanently. Weakness to elements. Fix an issue where this ability would break stealth and invisibility each tick. Well, that's good for Nightblades. Boston Guitar Kids, 54 months. Welcome back. Thank you. Bringing in the biceps. Yes, sir. Thank you, Boston. Welcome back. This is, so that's just for Nightblades. That's a nice for Nightblades. Dual wield hidden dagger, or hidden blade, sorry, shrouded daggers. Fix an issue where this bouncing daggers were not properly treated as a ranged attack. Okay. Fighter's Guild, Silverbolt, Silver Leash. Fix an issue where this morph would fail to behave like other pull abilities. Entropy, stealth. Okay, this would bring people out of stealth. They fixed that. Werewolf, fixed an issue where this ability werewolf should be disabled. Roar, deafening roar, fixed an issue where this morph's taunt apply in multiple targets at once. Undeath, this passive now reduces damage taken by 5 and 10% down from 15 and 30. Remove the stage 3 or higher requirements. Okay. You can still use the level 1 then. And it may just be... Is that what I'm getting? Because people just might level 1 vamp for it then. Honestly, kind of opens it up more and makes it less punishing and more demanding in my opinion. I can get 10% bonus at level 1? Okay. Anybody in the chat want major protection? Go get a vamp bite. Okay. Alright. Let's move on. Warfare. Oculon Overload. Fix an issue with the damage. This do not bay line of sight. Scribing. Alright, let's see what they did with scribing. Added scribing alters to Cyrodiil base camps, Imperial City sewers. Updated visual effects, a true sight lens overlay. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about, dude. Luminous ink. Added new sources of ink. If you have whatever this blessing, you now have a low chance of ink to drop from treasure chests and from heavy sacks. Huge. People really want more ink drops. Grimoires. All grimoires receive numerical increase. Okay. Sorry, I'm not reading it all out loud. I'm trying to power scan. Some of the focus and signature script interactions in order to simulate progression that normal abilities receive as they rank up. This is mainly accomplished by increasing damage, healing, shielding, or other stat scaling effects on abilities by 3.3% for focus scripts, which treat as a base ability, and a 6.6 for signature scripts, which we treat as a morph decision. This should help increase scribed abilities feel more numerically viable when compared to non-scribed abilities in the high-end experiences without tipping the scales too much in their favor. Check out their individual grimoires. Okay. So, alright, we have small numerical changes here. And I don't even know what the fuck, which ones are really talking about. But they're talking about, like, the general, you know, damage, healing, shielding. Okay, these are, like, small, nominal changes. Elemental explosion. This is, I want to see impact changes, like, not 3.3%. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. The, doing patch note reviews, I'm, like, getting so triggered now. I just, like, don't want to, like, fucking continue on. It's so distasteful that I have to sit here and read this shit. This is such dog shit. These people shouldn't be working this fucking industry. It's again, I'm not trying to be like I'm not trying to be such a dick, but like this shit is just like who are making these changes? Who's doing this? Like who works this fucking job, dude? Because you get into something else, dude. Do something else for a living. Like, these changes fucking blow. It's more than half this shit combat-wise. It's like, why? I don't even know actually why you're changing it, for starters. And then by the end of it, I see you've accidentally made something worse again. Meanwhile, we were all sitting here excited, hoping you'd address something that's actually, like, everyone's screaming about. And, like, you're just like, oh, really? Yeah, I tune that shit out. I don't even read that stuff. I just come on here, I make some cool roleplay changes for myself, and then I go play some other fucking game. Because I don't give a fuck about you guys. Like, that's what's happening here. It's actually really annoying. Like, if you know, beyond that, up to the top, you know, up to creative director level, like, get people with a passion for your job, or, like, go hire other people. There's fucking people out there that would love to work on this kind of shit. There really are. There's plenty of people in the industry that would enjoy this kind of work, that would love to be in touch with the community, and what you're doing is being like, we don't give a fuck what you think, community. We're just going to make random changes and have a bunch of fucking long developer comments that don't actually really make sense and further frustrate us. Like, that's it. Elemental Explosion. This is a big AoE from Destro's skill line. Increased all damaging focus script status effects chance to 10% rather than the default 5. Okay. Reduced the knockback to 10 down from 12. Okay. Still hits a decent amount. Increased Druid Resurgence paired with this Grimnar to 470 magicka per target. Up from 441. I don't know if that's a good idea, but okay. That's a lot of magic return. Doesn't really matter. Fixed an issue where the Word Offense signature tooltip was inaccurate to the ability functionality when paired with this Grimoire. This ability grants a much larger damage shield than it previously stated. Now probably magic scaling become 20% stronger per enemy hit rather than implying it increases by 100% per enemy hit. Fix an issue where it was capped at 50% of your max health. Alright. Cool stuff. Boston, thank you. Gifting in Brian Wheeler. I don't know if Brian's... I'm sure Brian's involved in the process, but I think he's kind of checked out on these changes, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Mender's Bond. Thank you, Boston. Mender's Bond. Increase the restore... They're increasing this? To 225 per tick, up from 215. Increased Druid's Resurgence to 80, up from 74. Updated the tooltip. Alright, I'll have you know, this is used a lot in PvP, and anyone that can do proper math, because they stack right now. And it's actually the main reason you'd want to use Mender's Bond. You can also throw a third thing on it for strong minor debuffs, such as Heroism, Courage, etc. that are unique to Mender's Bond. But again, what is ironic is this is mostly what people use on this enchant, and they're like, let's buff the thing that everyone uses. Go for it, dude. Fucking go for it. If you actually were collecting data that you looked at, you would see that most people are using this. But I guess, you know what? That probably might not apply outside. Maybe you're using global data, aka the 70% of the player base that you've conditioned to use heavy attack lightning staffs. Alright? So it actually doesn't matter what the fuck you do, apparently, with your job. Apparently you can just fucking change numbers every 3 months, and you just keep your job and you keep doing this shit. God help us if you ever get on another product I love. Shield Throw. Increase Druid's Resurgence signature when paired with this Grimoire to 165 stamina per tick, up from 152. All these fucking suck. Okay? Functionally, these are spammable skills. You're not going to use these for utility. And since they're spammable, you want a flat return. Okay? You don't want over 10 seconds. Thus, these skills are useless. I'm glad that you've buffed it, nerfed it. It doesn't matter. No one's going to use it. And if they do, it's because they can't count. Alright. Smash. Increase Druid's Resurgence signature when paired with this Grimoire to 200 stamina per tick, up from 184. Same thing applies on the last skill. No one is going to use this fucking skill choice. It won't happen. It has to be a flat return. It can't be over 10 seconds. Basically what this is saying is you will get 200 stam over 10 seconds, which means if I use Smash again over the course of 10 seconds, I'm going to be missing out on my return for picking this. Why am I using it then? Only if I use Smash once every 10 seconds? Is that what you expect me to do? Well, why did I pick it up then? Alright. Increase Leeching Thirst healing done when paired with this Grimoire to 35, up from 33. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? You increased the healing from 35 to 33? Why did you even make a bullet point for this, you fucking loser? Goading Smash. Taunting Focus. I don't... Listen, Smash, there's only one use case for Smash, and I have a build video on it. It's a meme, but it's fun. Let's move on. Torchbearer. I don't know if I can keep going on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm like so triggered on this shit. I don't know if I should keep going on. I really just don't want to be a complete asshole, and I'm turning into one. I know I am. I absolutely know I am. And I'm sorry. It's not in my nature. Well, it can be with patch notes, but like I don't want to. But this shit is just like out of touch. I don't know what's going on. I don't know half the shit I'm reading. 35 to 33? Like, what is this? What is this? Is this supposed to do something? Because it's not going to have an impact? Is this going to motivate someone? I don't know. What do you guys get to do? Do you guys get to do this with your jobs? You guys out there in the world, do you guys get to do this kind of shit with your jobs? This is fucking stupid. Torchbearer, Druid's Resurgence, pair with Grimoire, 200 tick, up from 74. Okay. Traveling Knife, I've used this a lot. Leeching Thirst signature paired with this Grimoire, up to 25 from 20. Okay, who cares? Vault, this skill's bugged, by the way, right now. I found that we got to see this for the last 4 hours on stream. Let's see if it got fixed in here. Fixed an issue where this Grimoire did not properly activate many sets. Like pull sets. That's true. Fixed an issue where the animation of this Grimoire did not properly react when you landed in shallow water. Now you will splish, splash. As if taking a bath. Alright. They didn't fix the bug. I read the other bullet points in my private time, guys. And it turns out... I'll just tell you. This skill actually uses itself twice. If you try to use another skill in succession, it's not every time, but it has a high chance that, say I hit vault and then I use streak, I will vault twice instead. Okay? Unintended consequences occur. But I guess you can go splish splash with it instead. Wield Soul reduced the Druid's Resurged signature pair with Grimoire. Okay, so this one is an instant return. This is a relevant change. This one was probably way overperforming, and it was nerfed, which makes me make choices on it. Good job. This is probably the first fucking thing I read in here that, like, relates to something. I'm not fucking around, guys. I have played with scribing a lot to try to do some cool builds. A lot of scribing's underwhelming. 90% of this shit in here is fucking useless. Almost all of it. These little incremental changes, like you're some fucking high-quality MOBA game, you're going to up things from 184 to 200. You're going to adjust healing from 33 to 35. Get fucked. You're out of touch with why people aren't using those to begin with. This is like busy work that doesn't do anything. This is literally busy work that has no value. It's not doing anything. That's what's upsetting about it. Is there's actually stuff in the game that needs to be changed, and what's happening is ZeniMax Online Studios, you are employing people that are not doing anything. They're not actually doing anything. This is busy work bullshit. It's fucked up. And if y'all are so fucking checked out on your front, so be it. But somebody's got to call it out. That is busy work bullshit. I'm reading it all over the fucking place. First, you hit us with hybridization bullshit. You never followed it up. You've dumbed down classes. You have so many spreadsheet bullshit changes that go from like, everything is now in the .3336 modifier instead of the .335 modifier. Like, these dumb fucking spreadsheet bullshit changes, dude. It's so silly, and it's not changing anything. It's not changing the environment. It is not going to influence change. This is how you have Necro in a place for 2 fucking years where people complain about it. You're doing busy work. You're out of touch with it. I fucking hope this hits somebody that works at ZeniMax. That I unfortunately I fail to communicate. I know this. I know I'm too pissed, so I won't make it this far with anybody at the fucking company. Okay. But I wish I could, because I wish somebody that made a fucking decision would go and be like, maybe he's fucking right. Maybe this is why we have a problem with Necro for 2 years. Maybe this is why people are complaining about these same fucking things in the combat section for a year straight. Why aren't we getting to it? Nothing's happening. It's silly. Why waste your time? You're employing people that are just doing nothing. That's actually what's happening. So, good for you guys. Good for you. That's very nice. Class Mastery. Increase the resource restored from the Nightblade Class Mastery script to 400, up from 333. Okay. Class Mastery, some of these are really good, by the way. So, these are relevant. Let's see what they actually did with these. Increase the Warden Class Mastery to 1430. No. This was not needed. This thing's overperforming. And not even for these reasons. But now it's overperforming more. Fix issue where the Warden version of the signature did not properly display on the enemy telegraph? No shit. Yeah. We have no idea we're getting hit by it. That's it. And the Sork one blows. Not that they need a buff right now, but... Okay. They literally buffed the Warden Class Mastery. This thing is so far ahead of everything else and how it functions. And not even for this reason, but they fucking buffed it anyway. It's just busy work. Any of you fucking guys could get in the chat and do this shit. Any of us. Any of us could go in there and do this. And there's a good chance you might do a better job. This is nuts, dude. They didn't even change the Sork one. The Sork one sucks. Alright, let's check the affixes. This is probably just an FYI for people This is probably, Gold Road's probably the first patch in about 4 years that I actually went and cranked numbers to like look at builds and have fun with the game and do stuff again. And the meta's pretty shitty and toxic and stale, but I can still have fun with friends. With all that said, I went to town on scribing a bit and tried a lot of things. Not at first, but after like 2 or 3 weeks, I unlocked things, and then I started testing things, and I've tried a lot of things. My point is, I'm probably more dialed in on the balance of the game than I have been in a long time. So I'm just not randomly shouting for shock value. Like, I'm really telling you, there is a lot of bullshit in here. Like, after going through a lot of things and seeing it, and then be like, oh, cool, Q3, update coming, quality of life changes, here's a bounce attempt. And then they actually followed up, and they actually do bounce changes, and they don't make any sense. Like, they're not making sense. I am reading this shit. It does not make sense. There are so many changes that it's just, it doesn't make sense. Your game is not going to be broken after Q3 patch. But what's happening is there are people that aren't doing anything. They're just randomly changing numbers. They don't know. They have no idea. And it's insane. It's stupid. And it's frustrating to see as somebody that puts time at it and that gets excited that, hey, maybe half the things I'm seeing they might see too. They ain't seen fucking none of it, dude. And that's pretty weird. Like, I don't know. And the thing is, there's feedback on your forums, dude. There's feedback out here. Y'all don't have to go far to make this shit up. But you can't even make it there. What stops you? Pride? Ego? Effort? I'd love to know what it is. Because these changes aren't it. I can tell you. As somebody that's actually gone through and played with a lot of these things, this shit ain't it. It's not good. Thus far. And it's not like, oh, the patch is going to be a disaster. No, what's going to happen is not much is going to change. And this is how you get stale metas, where nothing really changes. Because a bunch of things get moved around that don't really do anything. They don't influence change. Why is this patch so boring? Y'all are so scared to make change since update 35. If you've been castrated that badly, like, I don't know why we're doing bounce changes at all then. Affix durations are now a simpler and streamlined rule where major buffs and debuffs last for 10, while minor buffs last for 20. This could be good and bad. I'll explain why after. Savagery and Prophecy last 10 seconds down from 20 on Trample. Okay, I'll explain it now. Certain buffs are not good to have for only 10 seconds unless they're spammable. Trample is not a spammable. Okay? Now, there are certain skills that would be considered spammable in design. Typically, these would be your weapon skills, like a shield toss, the knife throw. Now, some of those skills are not going to have access to some of your major buffs. But if it's a spammable skill, you want to have at least, like, that's okay to be 10 seconds major prophecy, right? But putting, am I going to trample motherfuckers? This thing's got a 2-second channel time. What individual is out here channeling for 2 seconds to launch something for a 10-second buff? Do you know why you did this, though? I mean, we all know why. Because you got a spreadsheet, and you're lazy as fuck, and you don't want to sit here and make actual good design choices. That's why. This is not it, dude. No. Fuck, man. Oh, it's so bad. Elemental Explosion Savagery now lasts 10 seconds, down from 10 seconds. Good job. It's moving it from 10 to 10. They mean down from 20 to 10. It's also a channel. Like, this is not how you make scribing interesting. You don't get out your spreadsheet. Fuck, dude. Trample's Heroism Expedition, they'll up them to 20, up from 10. So all your minor buffs are going to last 20, and all your majors are going to be 10. And it's just going to be like, fuck, man, its first pass was probably better. Scribing's probably better in the first pass. Honestly. There's selective cases in how these skills are used where you don't want to apply a hard set rule like this. This ain't it. Not it. Okay? Feel free to read through this. That's the rule set. Major buffs 10, minor buffs 20. There it is. We've decided to streamline our durations of fixes to ensure they're easier to understand. I bet you did. Easier for you. Not for us. It's fucking terrible. Is that it? Is that where the pain ends, dude? Sorry, I got worked up. There's your patch notes review. All right, update Q3. The combat team is completely and utterly checked out. They actually aren't playing your game anymore. So if you enjoy Elder Scrolls Online, what you got is largely what you're going to get. All right, keep it there. All right. It's like a purging, I guess, of negativity. It's unfortunate. I will say this. I've really enjoyed Gold Road. If the scribing system, the folks at ZeniMax that worked in the scribing system, I think you did an awesome job. I think there's been a lot of cool stuff. I even really liked like the limited exploration I've done in Gold Road. I've enjoyed. The quests aren't bad. So much of Gold Road is actually really good, if you want me to be honest. The scribing system, if it was put in the game like 5 years ago, it actually would have been pretty cool. With that said, there's still really cool stuff that is at play there. It's not super overtuned like Oakensoul type shit, where a PvE guy can pick up something and be like, this one thing will kill everything, and I will fuck the game now with it. It doesn't have stuff like that. And I kind of like that. Your more casual might not. They want some fucking giant, just this kills everything. Use this one skill, right? And content creators love it too. This one skill will fuck everything. But like, there's nothing like that in scribing. So it's not that it's super like bounced, but like nothing's super overtuned with it. So it was kind of nice. I actually like it less after this first pass. This first pass tells me, let me break out the spreadsheet and dumb shit down and say we're making it easier for you to understand. Like, nah, man, don't. Make things interesting. Make things unique. Make things fun. Certain skills that do certain things. Certain skills are spammables. Certain ones are not. Is my vault skill a spammable? Am I going to jump kick backwards and spam this repeatedly on a mob? No. Should the same rule set apply to that as a throwing dagger that I can spam? No, it shouldn't. But you know what you just did? You said, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do. That's my Q3 change, boss. Yeah, we're shipping it in. Made it simpler for all the fucking users. Nobody has any idea what's going on the combat side. It's insane. And it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. So this is a lot of the rage you're seeing. You're seeing some pretty cool work being done at ZeniMax, and then like the combat team, y'all are fucking shit. All right, I'm just gonna say it plainly. You all have fucking given up, and it shows. It's showing so badly how checked out of this game you are. All right, you are so fucking checked out. You're not trying, and it's unfortunate because like the people that play Elder Scrolls Online, they actually don't need a lot of changes, PvE or PvP side. But we like to have things that maintain a level of change that is interesting. That allows us to engage and try things. The most changes you made for Necromancer, and they fucking blow. Like, I don't see the vision on it. Some, like, PvE rotation builds that help, but, like, okay, I don't know. Apparently, too, they changed no CP and it's not proc set. That's good. That's long overdue, right? Somebody mentioned that before the patch notes. I didn't get to it. It's somewhere in here. But no CP campaign, proc sets will work again. That shit should have been done like 4 years ago. They literally just forgot to turn it on after doing like PvP tests on Cyrodiil. What was that, 3-4 years ago? They did those tests. They made no CP, no proc. Even though some proc sets worked there, some sets were bugged. They never managed to list. It's just unfortunate, man. This is coming on the back of like Q4 is going to be a PvP update feature. And at this point, it's probably going to be like group dueling or duel finder. It's going to be something like whatever your expectations are, make them even lower. Okay? Sucks. You can still go out in the Cyrodiil and like have fun. You can have fun, but like, I don't know, man. It's just, the game deserves better, man. It deserves better development work. And like, it's really unfortunate that like, whoever's making PvP updates, dude, they are operating with the greatest job security you've ever witnessed in your life. That's what you're seeing right now. Like, nothing can happen to them. Because, like, this shit's stupid. It's so lazy. I would love, not going to get on a call, but I'd love to get on a call and talk through some of these changes. I really would. This would be really interesting because a lot of it just doesn't make sense. Even the developer explanations don't make sense sometimes. They say this is to alleviate this thing and that thing's not happening. Like, it's actually fucking crazy. That shit's not happening, you know? Did you see the Undeath nerf? I did. Yeah, they knocked it down, and that's good. Also long overdue, but it's passive, too. Like, you can just level 1 vamp it still. There's too many easy access automatic things. Nothing should have, like, Undeath's automatic thing. In my opinion. But it is what it is. In short, Undeath, you can... And it applies to any level of vamp, so you could be level 1 vamp, and it's a 10% reduction now. Instead of 30. That's it. It's brutal. So, I mean, there you have it. There's a Q3 patch note. So what are anyone's thoughts? What do people think? Anyone? I just don't want ball groups to cross heal in full. They didn't address nothing addressed on cross healing. Nothing addressed in Cyrodiil. Nothing. ESO has many good years left in it. I will say that. There's many good years left in it. But as far as PvP goes, I don't know, man. Like, you could come back to ESO in a year and a half from now and, like, I don't even know what patch notes will look like. I don't even know why. This job could be done by AI and probably better at this point. I mean, if AI at least took in some fucking... If it picked up anything off the forums, we'd be better off right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. Literally. Like, Sork shield, untouched. Are you kidding me? How? Dudes are running around pumping Sork shields all day. Nothing's going on. Nothing's coming in either. And here's the thing. Why are they that big? They're half as strong in PvP. Y'all understand those shields are twice as strong if you went to PvE? You cannot validate to me to be like, well, the PvE Sorks need the shields that strong. The fuck they do, dude. Those shields will hit for 40,000. You'll have a 40,000 shield in PvE? Do you need a shield that absorbs 40,000 health? Like, what's going on? Surprised they don't use AI to scan the forums for keywords and output the data. But you're misunderstanding. The first step isn't happening. They don't care about feedback. They're picking what to change and what to update. And in some cases, they don't matter. A majority of those scribing changes were irrelevant. I am not kidding. They're irrelevant changes. A majority of the scribing section was nothing. It's noise. It didn't change anything. If you used it, it won't hurt your build badly. If you didn't use it, it's not going to drive you to use it. They were irrelevant. If that's a majority of your changes, you're doing busy work. It's messed up. Fingers, it's capped on max health, so I guess no 40k shield. Right. No, my point is like that's part of the reason. It's irrelevant, like, for PvE. It doesn't need to be what it is. Do we have any questions on the patch notes? Anything before I bring this discussion to a full circle close? Or any comments? Anything that people disagree with? I'd be open to interpretations of others or discussing. I'm okay with that too. That's how I see the patch notes. That was it. You know, there's a few sets to test out, sure, but can you post this patch note on YouTube? Yeah, I think we'll cut that. It probably won't be up tonight, but yeah, we probably will cut this and throw it up on YouTube. Nightblade skill change is weird for pass since your spam bull doesn't proc your Shadow Major buff anymore. Yes, and I labeled as just interesting too, but then they doubled the duration. You know? So 12 seconds. If you can cloak every 12 seconds as a Nightblade, you're good. I think most of the Nightblades and the way they're playing in Cyrodiil right now, I think they'll manage. That's pretty much where I lost my patience. I do apologize. I had a lot more energy until I hit the Nightblade section. I'm just kind of tired of, like, nothing changing. Nothing happening. All these changes. Nothing relevant. Nothing moves. Update 35 fucking killed this game's combat. It's a shame. It really did. The community whipped back on this game so hard that I get, maybe they're not allowed to make the changes. Maybe I'm getting angry at people that don't have the power to make, but I don't think that's it. I think they're just mounded in at this point, and people don't really care. I don't think they answer to anyone. Because if you don't make any changes that are really impactful, you don't have anybody that really complains, right? You could be like, Fang, we're still complaining about wards. We're still complaining my Necro can't do this. Yeah, but they can say they're doing stuff. They're not doing anything dramatic. It's all just a bunch of fluff. You know? You can't just hit me with fluff and achieve nothing. All right? That's bullshit. Anyway, yeah. How will this impact the gold mat economy? I didn't read anything that's going to affect the gold mat economy. Things they need to change and buff, they were never going to. You said it well. They have no clue. I had a good long talk 2 years ago, and they declined my application. Only came back to run with the jam. Much love. Thank you, UG. Yeah, I don't think they're looking to hire people to really get shit done at this point. Boogie, that's exactly right. We are literally living in the aftermath of Update 35. That is every patch. Yeah. Was Update 35 the hybrid changes? I don't even fucking know anymore. No, the hybrid was before that, right? Or was it? Can't remember. At this point, I don't even remember. Fairness think hybridization should be removed. I mean, hybridization had some cool things and some bad things. It deserved a revisit and it deserved more work. The reality is Update 35 kind of killed this game for balance. It appears it's never, ever, ever, ever going to get changes. They're going to inject stuff into this. They're going to show you that they're doing things, pump content, but they're not really working on making a game that they're proud of from a combat perspective. And that might not mean a lot to people, but if I were them, it would mean a lot to me that they're just not taking pride in delivering a product that they're, again, just if you can't deliver something you're proud of on a combat perspective, you know, why does the job exist? It's just for fluff now, and it's becoming quite obvious that whatever happened, they've been clamped down on too hard. Whatever it is, it's not fucking working. It sucks. It's junk. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of empty, just changes. So much of the scribing changes were useless. And then the major minor buff changes were not good. That was not a good change. So, it's unfortunate. I was hoping for more. Like, scribing, again, cool system. There's a lot of teams that did a lot of great work. And that is why ESO will continue as a game. But, like, combat-wise, man, it's a drag. It's great for housing. It's great for lore. Great for storytelling. They still build cool zones. They nail voice acting. They do a lot of things, man. But the combat side is just so lame. But yeah. I think that's it. So, there it is. Update Q3. Big poggers. Can't wait. Maybe we'll get some updates on the second week of the PTS when they get some feedback in. I expect some real big stuff that'll be huge from them. I expect to really be impressed.